Whispers echoed through the dark woods. Shadows danced, twisted among the trees as Elena wandered, each step digging deeper into the enchantment that wrapped around her like a shroud. 37 years lost in this ancient forest. Time had grown thorns, clawing at her spirit, threatening to snuff it out. Once a spirited princess, laughter had filled her days. Now, echoes of joyous remembrance haunted her, flickering like fireflies trapped in a glass jar. She felt the weight of silence, heavy and tangible. Was she forgotten? Could anyone still see her beyond the spell that bound her? The trees beckoned, their limbs reaching toward her, whispering secrets only she could hear. A bond, both beautiful and oppressive, formed between her and the wilderness. Her tattered dress clung to her like a second skin, remnants of the life she once cherished. She paused, brushing her fingers over a rough bark. Nature still pulsated with life, trying to buoy her spirit, but grief curled within her heart like ivy, wrapping tightly, suffocating. "Will I ever return?" she whispered, voice rough with longing, the ache clawing at her throat. How could she possibly face a family that mourned her as lost? Her heart quickened at the thought, a flicker of hope igniting within her, a flame she feared would extinguish at the slightest breath. But then she sensed a change in the air, a presence, unfamiliar yet charged with intensity. Her body tensed as footprints crunched through the underbrush. Who dared approach these haunted woods? Was it friend or foe? She retreated deeper into the shadows, heart racing. The forest stalled, and the winds shifted. They recognized him before she could fully comprehend. Aiden appeared, tall and noble, all sharp angles and fierce determination. A wandering knight, drawn by fate. She studied him cautiously, feeling an electric pulse between them, small but unmistakable. He carried with him an aura of strength that felt like a shield against the torment of her world. As he moved deeper, glimmers of legends resurfaced in her mind. The lost princess. He was searching for her, unwittingly holding the key to her fate. Could it be true? Was she more than just a wisp of memory, a flicker of existence caught between realms? Elena ducked behind a tree, heart hammering fiercely against her chest. She clutched at the rough bark, grounding herself. What if he was here to rescue her? Or worse, what if he was another pawn of the sorceress who cursed her? But before she could silence the doubt, an ominous crack sounded nearby, a trap laid by the sorceress, threatening to ensnare him. Without thinking, instinct took hold, twisting her heart's desire into action. "No!" she cried, bursting forth from her concealment, fueled by the desperation to save him. In one swift motion, she leaped, tearing through foliage. Aiden stumbled into a pitfall, a net constricting around him, leaving him vulnerable. With a surge of power, she plunged forward, digging her hands into the trap's edges, fighting against the ancient binds that trapped him. "Who are you?" he gasped, eyes widening in surprise. "Not just a shadow." Her words came out fierce, resolute. "I'm here to help." As the net fell away, she revealed herself fully for the first time in decades. The air crackled with energy. The moment stretched like a taut thread, fragile yet potent. Could he see her? Not the ghost of a lost girl, but the woman she had grown to be, haunted but resilient. A creature of both grief and hope? What would happen next? Would he accept the truth that she had hidden for so long? The moment hung in the air, electric with uncertainty. Aiden's breath quickened, his gaze locking onto her. Are you real?" Elena stepped from the shadows, heart racing. "I am no ghost. I am Elena, and you're in grave danger." Behind him, swirling shadows whispered, traces of the sorceress's magic seeping through the trees, searching for her. The air grew heavy, thick with impending doom. "Elena," he murmured, as if tasting her name, the lost princess. Her heart tightened. After so many years lost, hearing her identity spoken felt surreal. "Yes, but I cannot stay." The sorceress. Before she could finish, a chilling wind ripped through the forest, a harbinger of shadows gathering like dark clouds overhead. Aiden glanced back, resolve flashing in his eyes. "We need to get you to safety." "No! You don't understand!" Panic surged through her. "You don't know what she's capable of. Even now she hunts." "I'll face her," Aiden declared, unwavering. We'll find a way to break this curse together. Elena hesitated, studying his fierce determination. Could he truly be the ally she had yearned for? Someone to understand the tangled depths of her pain and hope? You have no idea of the cost of this battle, she warned softly. I've lost family to her darkness, Elena. I know loss. His gaze softened, vulnerability dancing beneath the surface. I've been searching for you, believing you might hold the key to defeating her. But how? The question hung between them like fragile threads. What can I do? He took a step closer, studying her face. You have a connection with this forest. Use it. Let it guide you. As if cued by his words, the trees around them rustled, branches reaching out as if to encompass them both. You can hear them, can't you? Elena nodded slowly, the connection she felt to nature pulsing through her veins. I've always been able to. It's like they speak to me. The stories describe the lost princess as one with the woods. You can harness that, Aiden urged, eyes filled with hope. And I can help you. We need to band together. But shadowy tendrils encroached, their darkness thickening and threatening to snuff out this fragile spark of togetherness. We must move, she insisted. Now! Aiden took her hand, and for a moment, warmth surged through her, anchoring her heart amidst chaos. Together, they dashed deeper into the woods, the shadows snapping at their heels. The memories weighed heavily on Elena. She recalled the day everything changed. They had been celebrating her 18th birthday, laughter melting into twilight when jealousy twisted a heart, leading to betrayal. A sorceress scorned by love, she cast her spell, sealing Elena into an eternal night. The revelry turned to despair as her family searched, grieved, but eventually let go. But what if they hadn't? What if her absence continued to slice through their hearts like a blade? Focus! Aiden yelled, pulling her from her thoughts as they raced forward. The bond you have with the trees. Call to them. Elena closed her eyes, taking a deep breath. She felt the rustling around her, sensed the pulse of life all around. I am one with the forest, she whispered. Guide me. The trees responded, roots twisted forward, forming a pathway just as the shadows lunged. This way, Aiden shouted, trusting in her connection. Together, they moved swiftly, weaving through twisting branches, hearts united against the encroaching darkness. Keep going, he encouraged as the net of shadows tried to pull them back. But with each step, the bond she forged with Aiden intertwined deeper into her being, fresh roots feeding her soul. Finally, they found a clearing. Starlight poured into the space, illuminating their path, and Elena stumbled to a stop, breathless. What now? Aiden panted, his face a mask of determination mixed with heavy concern. There's a strength growing within me, something I can turn into power. She looked around, searching for the source. The trees are alive. They can help us find the sorceress. Then let them. Aiden stood firm, readying himself as shadows coiled closer, firming his grip on her hand. You lead. I'll fight by your side. A flicker of hope ignited within Elena. My family. They need to know I'm alive. Then we'll find a way to break this curse together. I promise, Aiden vowed, eyes blazing with resolve. She nodded, determination cementing their bond. Together. But as darkness crept ever closer, the shadows whispered their own threats. A reminder that the past could unravel everything they had begun. Would they be strong enough to face the lurking danger? Would they truly find a way to overcome the sorceress's curse? Or would this be another fleeting moment lost to the echoes of the past? The clearing felt like a sanctuary, untouched by the lurking shadows. Starlight spilled across the ground, illuminating Elena's face, bringing warmth to the chill that had seeped into her bones for years. This must be where the forest gathers its strength, she whispered, awed at the sight. The trees stood tall, their branches swaying gently as if inviting her closer, eager to share their wisdom. Stay alert, Aiden cautioned, scanning the perimeter. His grip tightened on her hand. The shadows slithered nearer, a dark reminder of the sorceress's relentless pursuit. Elena closed her eyes again, feeling the power coursing beneath her skin. I can feel them, she said. The trees, they want to help. She inhaled deeply, centering herself in the moment. I can connect with them. I just need to focus. What do you need from me? Aiden asked, voice steady, a quiet confidence echoing through his tone. Ground me, she replied, feeling the tremor of unease bubbling beneath her composure. Remind me of who I am. Remind me of my family. They're the reason I'm fighting. He nodded, taking a step closer. You are not alone, Elena. Your family, they believe in you. Every moment, they hold on to hope. You are their light. His words lit a fire within her, igniting a spark she thought long extinguished. Drawing strength from Aiden's unwavering conviction, she reached out her senses into the ancient forest around her. The murmurs of the trees joined together, harmonizing in a soothing melody. I am one with the forest. Guide me, she chanted, her voice steady and clear. As if responding to her call, the trees began to glow softly, casting an ethereal light around them. Roots unfurled in response to her desire, creating a bridge between her spirit and the world beyond, bridging the realms of the past and present. The murmur grew louder, brushing against her consciousness, weaving whispers that churned with purpose. Aiden stood beside her, vigilant as shadows flickered near the edges of the clearing. I feel it, he exclaimed. What are they saying? They speak of a great power, she breathed, eyes wide with awe. The deep magic of this forest, the spirit of the lost. It surges with potential, but it's linked to my heart, to my past. Suddenly, the shadows lunged forward, thick, ink-like tendrils sweeping towards them. Elena, Aiden shouted, drawing his sword, brandishing it against the darkness. We have to get out of here. No, she cried out, voice sharp with urgency. I can harness this. I must. Closing her eyes once more, she immersed herself in the sensations around her, weaving her essence into the roots and branches that swayed in response. I am more than a lost princess, she called out. I am the light returning. I am the voice of nature itself. A surge of energy coursed through her, and the trees bent lower as if acknowledging her newfound strength. She felt the forest respond, its lifeblood coursing through her veins. Together, we will fight! Light erupted from her, a brilliant glow illuminating the clearing. The shadows recoiled, flicking back like dried leaves caught in a windstorm. Aiden shielded his eyes, awestruck. Incredible, he breathed. Now, we stand against her, Elena shouted, unity fueling her voice. With her arms raised, nature surged around them, roots writhing, vines intertwining into a barricade against the dark. The forest was alive, and she was its heartbeat. As the shadows pressed on, Elena directed the energy flowing from the ancient woods. You cannot take me, she challenged, fierce in her conviction. The darkness writhed, swirling in desperation against the walls her strength formed. Then the manifestation came, the sorceress appearing amid the tendrils of shadow, eyes burning like two coal embers. Foolish child, her laughter echoed, a chilling sound that sliced through the air. You think to harness power you barely understand? Aiden stepped forward, sword drawn. We understand enough to stand against you. You are weak, living in the past. Careful now, brave knight, the sorceress hissed, her voice laced with malice. What happens when she remembers the truth? What happens when her heart breaks once more? That struck a chord deep within Elena. It rocked her, forcing her to recall the painful memories of loss, her family searching for her, the echo of laughter stripped from her life. Could she allow that pain to resurface? Don't listen to her, Aiden urged. You're stronger than your past. You've been fighting through sorrow for decades. Is that so? The sorceress sneered, her shadows closing in, engulfing the light surrounding Elena. Face your fears, child, and see how they will rip you apart. The whispers of the trees joined together, weaving courage into her heart. No! Elena shouted defiantly, thrusting her hands forward. You will not take us! You will not take me! The trees answered her call, roots extending fiercely, forming a barrier between her and the suffocating darkness. The darkness writhed, and with Aiden's strength beside her, they fought against the shadows coiling around, their light intertwining, each pulse resonating with hope. With one final push, she summoned the energy of the forest, channeling its strength toward the heart of the shadows. We will break your curse, she declared, voice echoing through the clearing, intertwining with Aiden's battle cries. The shadows bucked and twisted, shrieking in furious agony, while the vibrant light enveloped them both. A flicker of fate ignited in that luminous energy. They forged onward together, pushing back against the suffocating darkness. But the sorceress's presence lingered. It wasn't over yet. Could their combined strength be enough to overcome the torment of the past and redefine their future? Would love and light finally conquer the shadows that threatened to consume them? As the battle raged on, Elena couldn't help but wonder. The air crackled with raw energy, their light pushing against the encroaching darkness, forcing the sorceress back with every pulse of unity. Elena felt the forest around her, alive and vibrant, urging her on, but she could also feel the shadows clawing at them, relentless in their hunger. They wouldn't give up so easily. "You think you've won?" The sorceress's voice echoed, sharp and mocking, as she coiled her tendrils, gathering strength for another assault. "You're just prolonging the inevitable." "No!" Aiden roared, stepping into the fray, sword raised high against the encroaching darkness. "We will do what you cannot. We will fight for what is real, for love, for family." Elena's heart clenched at his words. Love, the very thing she thought she'd lost. "Together, Aiden," she shouted, determination surging within her. They were intertwined, fighting not just for themselves, but for the memories, the laughter, and the light that had once filled her life. With every ounce of energy, they channeled the essence of the forest. The branches creaked and swayed, responding to their rhythms, illuminating the clearing with an ethereal glow. Elena sensed something deeper in the magic surrounding her, a collective consciousness, the spirit of the forest beckoning her. "Guide us," she whispered, her heart resonating with the ancient life all around. "Help us find the strength to break this curse." As if answering her plea, the ground trembled, powerful roots rising like sentinels, forming a shield at their back. "We have each other," Aiden stated firmly, meeting her gaze. "Your heart is strong, Elena. Don't let her darkness seep into you. Remember who you are." But at that moment, the shadows gathered, swirling like a storm. "Your heart?" the sorceress sneered. "It will be your downfall. You are nothing without your family. You were nothing before this moment." She extended her arms, summoning her magic, shadows roaring like wild beasts around her. Elena felt a pang of fear, a shadow of doubt threatening to invade her heart. Memories flooded back, her childhood laughter, her family gathered by the hearth, the warmth of their love. "I am more than what was lost," she declared, her voice rising against the tide of darkness. "I have the strength of the forest. I take my family's love with me. You cannot take that away." In that critical moment, something shifted. Aiden's unwavering support wrapped around her as they pooled their strength. She turned to him, eyes blazing. "We can do this. Together." With renewed purpose, they pushed forward. The shadows hesitated, flickering in uncertainty at their fortitude. The sorceress hissed, her eyes gleaming with fury, as energy crackled between them. "The past will haunt you. It will always be there," she screamed, lunging forward, shadows extending toward Elena's vulnerable heart like serpents striking. But Elena felt the essence of the forest pulsate within her. Ancient roots, guiding winds, all converged into a single, undeniable force. "No!" she shouted, voice steady and clear. "You cannot define me. I will rise. I will reclaim my life." With a powerful thrust of her hands, she called forth the forest's magic. The ground exploded in a brilliant surge of light, intertwining her essence with the roots and branches, enveloping them both in a cocoon of brilliance. Elena felt the energy swell, filling her with strength, purpose, and unyielding love that transcended pain. The tendrils of shadow recoiled, shrieking in rage. They struggled against the searing light, but Aiden stood beside her, unwavering. "Focus on the love." Elena closed her eyes, visualizing her family, the hearty laughter of her little brother, the warm embrace of her mother, the reassuring presence of her father. "I'm coming home," she whispered, channeling the memory of belonging into their fight. "I'm not lost anymore." The energy erupted outward like a star exploding into the night, engulfing everything in its path. An incandescent wave ripped through the clearing, illuminating every corner, consuming the shadows until they writhed in despair. The sorceress screamed, fury twisted into terror as the darkness exploded in a shower of shimmering sparks. Then, silence. Elena opened her eyes, breathlessly gazing at the transformed clearing. The sorceress was gone, banished by the very magic that coursed through the forest, and the shadows had retreated, no longer threatening her sanctuary. "We did it!" Aiden's voice rang with disbelief and joy. This is incredible!" Elena looked around, overwhelmed with emotions. The trees stood tall, their leaves glistening like jewels under the moonlight. She felt the forest embracing her, a long-awaited homecoming. But deep inside, a flicker of anxiety remained. "What now?" she asked softly, the light still pulsing around them. "What if she comes back?" "Then we will be ready," Aiden replied, determination bright in his gaze. "We've proven that together, we can face anything." The bond they had forged was stronger than the darkness. She could finally see her own strength, feel the echoes of her family's love surrounding her like an invincible cloak. "You're right," she breathed, beaming at him. "Together we can protect everything that matters." Yet uncertainty loomed. A bittersweet remembrance filled her heart as she thought of her family. "But they believe I'm dead. It feels wrong to face them again after all this time." Aiden stepped closer, lifting her chin gently. "You are still their princess. You're still Elena, no matter how much time has passed. They've held on to hope for you, and now they need to hear your story. You can get back to them. We can make it together." She felt warmth swell in her chest, hope brightening the shadows lingering in her heart. "Will they forgive me?" "Of course," he reassured, his voice steady. "You've fought for your life, for your love. They will welcome you back." Elena summoned her courage. "Then let's go home." As they stepped forward, hand in hand, the starlight wrapped around them like a promise. In that moment, a new chapter began, one where love conquered darkness. But as they ventured forward, uncertainty whispered along the edges of her mind. Were they truly free? Or was the sorceress merely waiting for the right moment to strike again? Elena's heart surged as they approached the castle, anticipation bouncing in her chest like a wild bird desperate to escape. The imposing stone structure loomed ahead, its ancient walls standing sentinel against the dark night sky. Each step felt monumental, the weight of her journey bearing down upon her. "Do you think they'll truly be happy to see me?" she asked Aiden, the words slipping out before she could filter her doubts. The warmth radiating from their clasped hands felt comforting, but anxiety clawed at her spirit. The echoes of laughter and love that once filled these halls were ghosts now, distant memories of a life she feared was lost. Aiden squeezed her hand tighter, his calm presence steadying her nerves. "Elena, they've held on to hope for you. You're their princess. You are home now." His unwavering confidence bolstered her resolve, igniting a flicker of hope that dared to break through her fear. Gathering her courage, she stepped through the oak doors that creaked open before her, the sound reverberating in the stillness like a thunderclap. The aroma of aged stone and burning candles washed over her, a haunting reminder of all the years spent apart. In the grand hall, everything looked as she remembered yet felt so distant. Tapestries embroidered with stories of her family lined the walls, each thread stitched with love and history. The long dining table showcased remnants of meals long forgotten, dust settling as a marker of time lost. Suddenly, a familiar figure caught her eye. There, by the flickering fireplace, stood her mother, the queen, her silhouette glowing in the soft light. Elena's breath caught, heart stumbling over itself. Time had etched fine lines across her mother's face, but her grace and warmth were unmistakable. "Elena," her mother's voice trembled, barely above a whisper, laced with disbelief. "Mother?" Elena breathed, tears pricking at the corners of her eyes. "It's truly me. I'm back." Her mother's eyes widened in shock, holding back the tide of emotions that swelled within. "But we thought," she stammered, and within moments, they crossed the distance as if the years melted away. "Your sister is back!" shouted her mother as they embraced, warmth flooding between them. "I have missed you so much." Elena melted against her, feeling that familiar love envelop her like a protective cloak. "I've missed you too," she gasped, squeezing her mother tightly. "I fought to return, It was so dark. The memory of her struggles tangled with the joy of this reunion, creating a bittersweet tapestry of emotions. But before she could continue, another voice broke through. "Elena? Felix!" Her little brother burst into the hall, his joy echoing louder than any prince had the right to wield. He sprinted towards her, a blur of excitement. "Is it really you?" he asked, eyes wide and sparkling like the stars illuminating the night. "Yes, I'm home," she laughed, pulling him in for a hug that lifted her spirits. How much he had grown. The boy who had once tugged at her skirts was now nearly as tall as she was, all arms and legs and the spirit of youth. "What happened? Where were you?" He fired questions at her like arrows, heart racing at the sight of his sister. "I'll explain everything," she replied, brushing his hair back affectionately. "I promise. But you have to know I'm here to stay." Their father stepped forward, his presence commanding and protective. "Welcome home, my daughter." His voice boomed, holding a richness she had longed to hear. There was warmth in his eyes, mingling pride with relief. "We feared we had lost you forever." "I fought, Father. It was so hard." He stepped closer, enveloping her in a robust embrace that spoke of his anguish and joy. "Your bravery has returned you to us. You have lived through nightmares not meant for a young girl. We are proud of you." Tears glistened in Elena's eyes as she hugged him back fiercely. "Thank you for believing in me," she whispered. The warmth of family filled her heart, a sensation both familiar and terrifying in its intensity. But then reminders of the battle she'd just fought crept back, clawing at her thoughts. The sorceress and her dark magic, the lingering shadows that could still threaten them all. "What about her?" Elena asked, her voice tightening as dread pooled in the pit of her stomach. "The sorceress. She could come back. She won't just let me return without a fight." The joy dimmed a fraction in the room as her family's faces turned grave. "We will be ready," her father said firmly. "Whatever darkness comes our way, we will face it as a family. You cannot live your life in fear." Aiden stepped forward, his voice steady. "Elena, we fought against her before. We can do it again. We're stronger together, and we've already conquered the shadows." Elena nodded, taking comfort in his words. The bond they formed had indeed been forged in the heat of battle. It was unshakable, but doubt lingered just out of reach, like a storm cloud casting shadows over her heart. Her mother took her by the shoulders, grounding her once again. "You are safe now. No matter what battles we may face, we are united. Remember that." But a chill crept into her heart as uncertainty danced on the edges. "Can we truly be safe?" she asked quietly, the fear spilling out before she could retreat. As laughter bounced off the walls, a sudden thought struck her. Was this a temporary peace? Had they merely survived the first wave, with the sorceress biding her time for a darker vengeance? Yet, surrounded by her family, she felt something undeniable spark within her. "We will face whatever comes together," she vowed, her voice strong despite the uncertainty swirling in her chest. And as they stood, her family encircling her in a bubble of warmth, Elena felt the whispers of hope weave their way through her heart. They would hold the darkness at bay for as long as they could. The night might be long, but love had returned, threatening to chase away the shadows. This was home, and though uncertainty still lingered, they had each other. The dawn could be far, but they would greet it together. Or at least, that was how she hoped it would be. The questions of the past would not be easily dismissed. She knew the battle was far from over. Days turned into weeks as Elena settled back into life at the castle. Yet the memory of the sorceress loomed like a cloud still hanging over her. Each morning, as she wandered the blooming gardens, the vibrant colors reminded her of what she fought for, but the shadows of her past lingered. One crisp morning, she found Aiden waiting beneath the ancient oak tree, its gnarled branches reaching out as if to embrace her. "Elena," he called, a warm smile brightening his face as the first light filtered through the leaves. "I was hoping to see you here. Just needed to think," she admitted, taking in the serenity around them. "It's surreal to be home, but I still fear she'll come back." "What if the darkness isn't truly gone?" Aiden stepped closer, carefully weaving his fingers through hers. "We will be ready. Whatever darkness lurks, we face it together. We're stronger now, and the shadows can't break our bond. Her heart swelled at his reassurance. With you, I believe we can confront anything. As they made their way back into the bustling castle, cheers and laughter filled the air, awakening Elena's spirit. They're preparing a celebration. My family must have planned a feast to honor my return. Well then, we should make the most of it, Aiden replied, matching her enthusiasm. Inside the grand hall, the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. Servants worked quickly, laying a feast on the long table, adorned with flowers and colorful banners. The warmth of home echoed in her heart as family and friends poured in, eager to celebrate. As darkness fell, candles illuminated the room, casting a flickering glow. Elena's father raised a goblet, the room falling silent. To Elena, our brave princess, he proclaimed. May her return remind us of the power of hope and love. Cheers erupted, and Elena felt her worries drift away, replaced by joy. Her mother approached with a small box in hand, her eyes shining. Elena, my dear, it's time for my surprise. Curiosity sparked in Elena as she opened the beautiful box. Inside rested a delicate necklace, shimmering with gemstones shaped like stars. Her grandmother's heirloom. It's lovely, she whispered, touched by the gesture. It symbolizes strength and the love of our family, her mother explained. Wear it always as a reminder of who you are and how far you've come. Elena clasped the necklace around her neck, feeling its weight settle against her heart. Thank you, she said, her voice thick with emotion. As the night wore on, stories filled the air. Yet, even amid the laughter, darkness crept silently at the edges of her mind. It lingered like a storm cloud just outside her range of sight. Aiden caught her gaze as she pulled away from the festivities. You okay? He asked, sensing her shift in energy. I can't shake the feeling that we're still in danger, Elena admitted, emotion flooding her voice. What if the sorceress returns? Aiden leaned closer, without breaking eye contact. Whatever comes, we will face it together. Love has a way of driving away shadows. You are not alone in this. Elena nodded, finding some comfort in his words. But the uncertainty still gnawed at her heart. She had fought hard to reclaim what was lost, but a lingering fear remained. Would it always be a battle? As the celebration continued, she whispered a silent vow to herself. She would protect her family and the love she had found. This was her home now, and she would not let fear dictate the course of her life. The festivities wound down, and as everyone began to leave, the warmth enveloping her felt more profound than before. She looked to Aiden, gratitude filling her tone. Thank you for being here, she said softly. I'll always be here, he promised, looking into her eyes with unwavering conviction. Even as the night grew quiet and the laughter faded, Elena knew the fight against darkness would not end. The sorceress could return, but they would stand united, facing whatever challenges came their way. With a renewed sense of strength, Elena stepped outside, breathing in the cool night air. She would be ready for any storm, fortified by love, family, and friendship. Together, they would face tomorrow, whatever it brought. If you enjoyed the story of Elena and Aiden, their journey against darkness, subscribe for more epic Lycan King romances. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a story. And remember, love conquers all. Thank you for listening.